Uh-oh, guys. We had a coolant blowout. So what happened was I got a frantic call from my daughter. She said, smoke's coming out from underneath the hood of my car. It's on fire. I need your help. And I said, are you sure it's not steam? She says, I don't know. She's about in tears. I don't know. It's just really hot. I said, it's probably just steam. Turn the car off, pull it over, and we're going to get this figured out. So anyway, I had her pull over. She let the steam dissipate, opened the hood, and what we found was this hose right here that hooks up to the top part of the radiator had completely dislodged from the water outlet. And it did that because the plastic cracked and just popped right off. So the nipple on the end here came off with it, and about, I don't know, about a half of an inch of plastic as well. So it just basically broke off in a clean ring all the way around. And the reason for that is the plastic can't hold up to the Dex Cool coolant very well. So over time, it makes it soft and brittle, and it basically just falls apart. And that's what happened. So for a quick fix, I went over to the auto parts store. I picked up the Dorman one, and actually the one that was on here was also a Dorman. So guys, the Dorman one has the same issue as the OEM one. So just thought I'd let you guys know that. I don't know if it lasts any longer because I don't know how long this was on the car. We got it in 2000. This is a 2015. So some point before we got it in 2000, they replaced the water outlet with a new one. And I want to say it was probably right before we got it because they didn't tighten the bolts tight enough and it was leaking coolant all over the place. So let's say it happened when we first got it. That was about 78,000 miles. It has 113,000 miles now. So that's about as long as they last. So you guys are gonna have to do the math. I'll do the math and put it up on the screen so you guys can see without having to do the math yourself. So I don't trust this plastic one anymore. So we're gonna take this one out and we're gonna install an aluminum one. So what I did was I went online and I found this one by SKP. It's an SK902846A. Let's go ahead and open it up, see what we've got. Now the box is pretty banged up. This one came from RockAuto. So here we go. Even though the box is banged up, luckily it was not damaged. There's your aluminum one. So hopefully this one will last the life of the car. So it came with 3 bolts. They're not captive like the plastic ones are, so you got to make sure you don't drop these in the engine bay. Alright guys, to take this out, you're supposed to drain all the coolant, and there's a petcock on the bottom of the radiator that you can do that from. That's a pain to get to, so I don't do that. What I do is I just remove the hose from the reservoir here, and I just hold it down low and I drain all the coolant out that way. And then to get a little bit more out, I put some compressed air, just a light compressed air through this hose right here, and that'll force a bunch more coolant out. I capture it and I save it because the coolant that's in here is actually only a few days old, so it's still good, so I'm going to reuse it. And if you want to get more out, you can remove the hose over here that's down over on this side. I actually already have this removed, that's why I'm doing this now. I'm working on a problem with the turbo, diagnosing it, so there'll be a video for that too coming out after this one. But that's what we're working on. So I'm going to go ahead, we're going to take off what needs to be taken off so we have access to be able to take off this water outlet. Alright, the first thing we are going to do is we're going to remove this charge air outlet pipe from the intake. And to do that, we just loosen that clamp up. I'm going to use my drill just in the interest of time. Just slowly loosen that up so you can get that pipe off. And I'm just going to pull this off gently. And I'm going to pull it back and just going to pull it to the front of the car and just push it up in front of the battery. And then that way it's good and out of the way. All right, next thing I'm going to do is we're going to disconnect this cable right here. This is for the thermostat. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. Let me go ahead and get you guys a better view. Okay guys, I hope you can see that. Right here is the clip. And if you push right here, you see the lever come up. So you're going to push that down, and then you're going to pull back on it with your finger, and it's disconnected. So here's a better view in case you need it. Push right here, and that lever will open. And I'm just going to take this and I'm going to pull it up and over here. I'm going to pull this guy. Come on, guy. Come on. And I'm just going to stick it, tuck it back in there like that. So now it's out of my way. Next thing I like to do is I want to remove this oxygen sensor from the holder. And to do that, I just tilt it a little bit. So it's basically, it's held in with like a little tiny knob on the back and a little snap. I think it basically holds it in with pressure. So I just slide it down and out like that. And it's disconnected, and you'll see like a little knob in the middle there. That's what holds it in place, this little clip that's on the water outlet. All right, guys, there's the clip. You're gonna wanna just take your thumb or finger, push up that way, and then you have this little spot in the middle here you can press down on, and then they just pull right apart. Just take this guy, set it up out of the way somewhere so you don't, doesn't keep getting in your way. This one right here, I usually just take it and I pull it up and let it hang right about there. So now, the next thing we have to do is disconnect the hoses. So let's see if I can get you guys a good look at that. Whew, okay guys. So the first thing we need to do is remove this clamp right here from this hose. So to do that, we want to try to do it so we don't get the clamp turned so we can't get it like I just did before the video. All right, so now that that's off, just go ahead and gently pull this hose back and out of the way. I'm trying to do it without blocking you guys. So just pull it back and off. Like so. There is going to be some coolant. Try to get a bucket under there to catch it if you need to. All right, guys, that's the first hose. Let's go ahead and remove this guy right here. This one's pretty easy to do. There's a couple ways you can do it. You can either pull this clip out right here. See this little clip right here? Pull this clip out. Don't lose it, you're gonna need it. And then just wiggle this guy free like that. Now you can either put this up out of the way, or you can remove it from your coolant reservoir. Be careful if you remove it from here, because if you do, if you have the original coolant reservoir, sometimes these are very brittle and they break. So remove that if you want to. Do not push on here. Do not lean over on it and push on it. These will break. I have done it, and it was so brittle it just disintegrated in my hand. Let's go ahead and take this upper clamp off right here. Careful, don't chew up your hose. So that one's off. You can push it over out of the way like that, and then we got to get the big boy off right here. I'm going to try to use the same pliers. Might not be able to. This one I had to pull the hose off and leave the clamp where it was because I could not get it to come over the lip. So I had to do that right there to get it off. So set your clamp aside so you don't lose it. And now I think we have all the hoses disconnected. We have the electrical connector disconnected, so we can remove the bolts. Let's go ahead and do that. These are reverse Torx. I don't really have the right one, I don't believe. This is an E10. Like I said, I don't know that this is the correct Torx for this or not, but it fits on there pretty perfectly. So we're gonna use that one. Can you guys see that? Do I need to get you down there further? All right, so there's the top one. Now you don't have to, you can loosen them up a little bit and then get them the rest of the way with your fingers if you want. There's one right down here. And then there's another one back here. Right back here. I can barely see it. Right there. Like I said, I usually just unloosen them a little bit, or loosen them up a little bit. And then I'll take the tool in my hand and I'll just spin it off the rest of the way. So just like that, spin it off the rest of the way. There's that one. Sorry guys. I got you tight down in here. I think that one's done, and then there's this one up on top right here. Let me pull you back a little bit. Well, there we go. Now you can just pull it right on out, just like that. So there are the 3 bolts I was talking about. We are going to lose a little bit of coolant, not much you can do about that. Alright guys, so what I like to do now is I take these 3M pads. These are a Scotch-Brite 3M pad. I just take this and clean up that surface just a bit. Get any junk that's on it off. Like so. Just like that. So now that that's cleaned up, I'm just going to take a rag and get all that debris off, and she is good to go. So let's get the other one installed. Alright, make sure your seal is in there all good. Get it kind of positioned where it's supposed to go. And I'm going to hand start this top bolt. Don't try to go and start it with a tool. You're going to end up cross-threading things. So that one's hand tightened. I don't know, these other ones might be a little hard to do because they're kind of recessed up in here. Got that one. Run them down as far as you can by hand. And the one this one's gonna be tough. All right guys, I'm gonna take a little piece of tape, kind of put it right around that lip just a hair bit. Just a hair, like so. And then that should hold it so it doesn't fall. And we should be able to get it to go in. Because it's back up and under here. I can see it, but I can't get my hand down in there. And once you've got it started a little bit, you can pull that guy off. So see how that worked pretty good. Now, there's no torque specs for this aftermarket part. So I'm just gonna kind of guess that it's gonna be the same as the plastic one, which is 71 inch-pounds. All right, I'm gonna tighten them a little bit at a time, one by one, just so we don't have it going in crooked. I don't have the torque wrench attached just yet. Basically, I'm just going to tighten it out and tighten it until it bottoms out. We're just about bottomed out. Now, I'm going to use the torque wrench, tighten those up. And the torque spec is 71 inch-pounds. Torque wrench is set to 71 inch-pounds. Let's go ahead and tighten them down. Guys, you're right in my way again. You're right in my way. Let me see if I can find a better spot for you. How's that? Can you see them? See the bolts? You guys might actually be able to see that. Yes. Yes, sir. So that one already clicked, 71 inch-pounds. Let's get the back one here. 71. Oh no, guys. No. That's the bad thing about this torque wrench, is it does not hold. Oh, it's all the way in the middle too. Guys, I gotta get a magnet. I have to get a magnet for that. We got her. Now she's covered in coolant. Yeah, this torque wrench, the little thing here does not hold very tight. So it's super easy for the socket to fall off, especially if you have a heavy extension on it. So they're all tight to 71 inch-pounds. Guys, if you don't have a torque wrench, you know, just snug them up. Snug them up, call it good. Just make sure it's actually tight against the cylinder head, and there's nothing in there kind of jamming it from going in all the way, because that's how it was when I got this one used. All right, let's go ahead, get this one hose back on. I keep reaching behind there, but you can't really feel anything, get your hand in there, so just go ahead and stick that on all the way up to the little notch right there. So there's a clamp right here. Let's see if I can get it without twisting it all around backwards again like I did last time. Damn it. Dang it, guys. I don't know why this one's such a pain to get. I did this in my daughter's college parking lot in the dark. And I can't even do this during the daylight for some reason. Right about there is perfect. Perfect. If you want right now, you can go ahead and plug this guy back in. It's no longer in the way of anything. This rotates, so if it's not pointing the right way, just turn it so it is. Make sure the clip's on it from the factory so it doesn't pop out. Go ahead, stick this guy back on. That's it, just like that. Another thing you're gonna wanna do, take the old water outlet and take this clip off right here. So you basically just take pliers and hold on both sides of this clip, push it in, and then push it through, and then it'll release. Because you're gonna need this again, and to hold the O2 sensor on. If you want, you can snap it on first, and then slide the O2 sensor back onto it, just like that. Just make sure it's in all the way. I'm not gonna put the O2 sensor on yet until we get those other two hoses on. So let's go ahead, let's get this bottom hose in. First thing we do need to do is put the clamp, like I said, I always put the clamp over it first because it won't fit over that lip for whatever reason. Get yourself some pliers that can grab onto here. Someday I'm going to buy the tool for this. If you want to, you can do it. You see that? Yeah. You can do it with it out of the car. I like to use water pump pliers. This one's a little easier to do with water pump pliers, just like this. Be careful, don't let it snap in your face. So just like that, and then I'm going to hold it open. I'm going to take the hose, I'm going to slide it up and over until it's on sufficiently. I don't know if this one has like a little knob where it stops. I'm catching on something somewhere. Hold on. There we go. And then just work that clamp on. Right about there looks good. And go ahead and release it. I don't think that's going to go anywhere. What do you guys think? Just like that is how you do it. And then take the upper one, slide her on in, just like that. Take your pliers, open her up, slide her into place, slide that stinker right up into place, just like that. So 1, 2, 3 hoses. We have to put this little guy back on. Let's go ahead and do the oxygen sensor while we're thinking about it. And for this oxygen sensor, there's this little clip area right here. And then you slide this, I believe you have to slide it up from the bottom, so it may actually have been a good idea not to put that on yet. That's my boo-boo. And I don't know if this one has enough give in it like the plastic one does, to where you can tilt it backwards and then slide it on. It would have been easier to put it on first and then slide it on, but just to show that you can do it that way, there you go. Now that it's on, you want to take the clip, the plug for it, push it down this direction, go ahead and slide it in, and once it clips, slide this red clip back up and forward. So now your oxygen sensor is hooked back up. All right, what do you want to do next? Charge air? Let's do the charge air outlet. That's right here. And this one's pretty simple. Make sure it's clean. You may want to take this off. If this leaks for any reason, you're not going to get good boost. You're going to get a leak and you're not going to get good boost. So go ahead and just make sure there's no junk up in there. Make sure this area is clean, and then go ahead and slide her on. Actually, you know what? One thing you might want to do, this clip right here, this clamp, is kind of in the way. That's why I had it tilted down some. So let's go ahead and tilt that down some. Otherwise, it's going to catch on that hose, and it's not going to want to, the hose isn't going to want to go in. So just be careful. You don't want to get that sucker so far down that you can't remove it. All right, so now that that's like that, we should be able to push this hose on. There we go. Now there's plenty of room, and there's like a 1/4 of an inch gap now. So now that that's in place, let's tighten it back up. I'm going to gently spin it down with the tool here, with my drill, and then I'm going to tighten it the rest of the way with a ratchet. You don't want to go crazy tight, but you don't want it to be so loose that it leaks. Right there feels pretty good. I think that's good, guys. What's left? This little hose right here. Let's go ahead and tilt you up a little bit. This little hose that goes from here into here, that's next. Now this one you gotta be careful with, because when I got this, I didn't realize it. We drove around for 5 years without this little clip on. So right here is a little clip that holds. So this clip snaps around here, and it snaps around. So this piece right here is going to come off. This one came with its own. So this clip, it goes on right here like this. And let me tell you what, it was real hard for me to find this hose. Like online, nothing had it listed properly. It had it listed as like an electrical connector, and it took me probably 2-3 hours of searching to find it. So make sure that clip's on there. If it's not, the only thing holding it in place is an O-ring. All right, you should hear it click in place, right? So now that's in there good. Make sure that clip's in there also holding it in place. And then up on the top here, I leave the clamp on because it's another case of where no matter how hard you pull on this, the clamp won't come up and over. And this clamp might be bent. That might be part of the problem. But go ahead and push this on. I open the clamp up a little bit and I push it in carefully. Don't bust that little nipple off, or else you have to buy a whole new reservoir, which I have had to do. All right, guys, that's how you change the water outlet, whether it's a plastic one or an aluminum one like this one. I do recommend the aluminum ones. Hopefully they'll last the life of the car. That's it, guys. If you want to see me do the coolant, I'll go ahead and show you that next. All right, let's get the coolant back in here. I have everything hooked up. We'll go ahead and open up this guy. I'm going to use a funnel because I'm going to reuse my old coolant, and some leaves got up in it. So I'm going to filter it through this isn't actually a shop towel. This is like a cleaning towel, but it's been used on a vehicle already for cleaning. and you can't use it again without damaging the finish. So we're going to use that. I'm just going to pour this coolant through it. And got to make sure you have enough surface area for it to escape. If you're just trying to get down through that little hole, it's not gonna work. But this will capture all the little debris. Now we're gonna have to put more in it than this because we did lose a little bit more than this. Okay. That's about it. Set this aside. All right, guys, can you see the side of that? Go ahead and watch it for me. Go ahead and watch it. Make sure I'm not overfilling it. Right now, I got a little lazy and I use pre-diluted. Normally, I mix my own. I want a little over because I know we're going to have some air in there. I'm going to leave it open so we can run it and be able to let the air escape, and then we'll be able to not scald ourselves. All right, guys, there it is. Now this is self-burping. This is the burp hose right here. So any air in the system will come up through this hose and escape and up into the tank, and then it'll once it hits 20 psi, it'll release. So that air will come out with any excess coolant if you happen to have too much coolant in your system for whatever reason, which pretty much should never happen. That's that, guys. All right, guys, let's start it up, see what happens. Guys, I don't know what that sound was. Oh, I know what that is, guys. There's coolant on the belt and everything over here. And so every time the air conditioner kicks in, it's making that sound. All right, everybody, so there you have it. That's how you can save yourself some future headaches by switching out to the aluminum water outlet. Or if you've already had your outlet fail and you're going to be replacing it, the aluminum outlet is the way to go. So guys, I hope that helps you. I hope you enjoyed that. And as always, thank you for watching. Kevin's Way Works.
Uh-oh.